Hello and welcome to Something for the Weekend with the Open Times, and it's me, Ellis Butcher.
Me, Fiona Scott.
And me, Kathie Griffiths.
And last but not least, he is back after what it feels like a month off. Stevie Day, our IT man, the man with the headphones, the man with the mic.
We've all got headphones and mics, but it's nice to be back, and thank you for the welcome.
I beg to differ, Stevie. I haven't got a mic.
Oh, I'm working on it, Fee. I'm working on it. You will have a mic.
I thought you were going to say, I beg to differ. Actually, we didn't miss him at all.
Oh.
Do you know what?
We did miss you.
Martin Stewart played an absolute blinder despite quite a few technical problems, so we've got to give a big shout out to Martin as well.
Martin.
He was good.
He did.
Well done, Martin.
Has anyone seen him recently? Has he got his car fixed yet, or is he still stood on the roadside?
No, he is fixing his car. I believe it's almost ready, if not running now.
Oh, bless him.
He's a very clever chap.
He is. He made our raft, you know, didn't he? The Open Times raft last summer. He was one who had all the ideas and put this floatable thing together, and it did stay afloat.
It's still there. It's still waiting for the raft race, but obviously we can't do it this year.
Next year. Always next year.
Always next year.
It will go swimmingly, I'm sure. So what have we all got lined up for the weekend? It's nearly July. I can't believe it's nearly July. I know that I always say this when it's my turn to do this, but I genuinely can't believe how quickly this year is coming in. Has anyone got any exciting plans?
Well, it might be nearly July, but it isn't the end of June yet. And the end of June's, we've got a joint birthday. Me and Malcolm's birthday weekend this weekend. So,
Is it?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
What's the damage then? Come on, you got to tell us.
Here, have a slice of virtual cake. It can be any flavour you like.
I am going to make a cake. We usually go away somewhere. Our birthdays are only 2 days apart, so we move them. We're like the Queen. We move them to the nearest weekends and just have one birthday between the two of us. And we usually go away somewhere, so this year's going to be interesting. But I will attempt to make a cake.
Well, come on, you're ducking the question here. We want to know how old you are and how old Malcolm is.
Or maybe we could ask nicely. Maybe we can have the combined damage.
Yeah.
My math, I wish I'd known this before. My math isn't too good.
I'll guess.
Right.
Guess the age. What could possibly go wrong?
Combined age.
Yeah. You do that, and I'll quickly grab my pen and paper. And
Blimey, how big are the numbers?
Enormous.
We should have a guess of what.
What happens if it's really way out?
I'm going to say 82.
How many miles?
Charmer.
How many miles are between Benderlock and Seal, so she can't get me easily, and you can't go more than 5 miles, so I think I'm a safe territory.
Come on, Kathie, what's your figure?
I'm going to say 103.
103 for Ellis. Kathie?
I'm going to say 106, but only because I've seen Malcolm.
What does that say about Malcolm?
And the real answer is?
It's 110.
We're all wrong. No one gets a prize.
We were all being kind, weren't we?
I was going to say, you're all just trying to be nice.
Erring on the side of caution. Have a lovely weekend.
Thanks, Kathie.
So what else have you got? You're going to have cake. You're going to get 2 party hats, 2 party poppers. What else?
We're going to have alcohol.
I would hope so.
Surprisingly enough, I was actually going to, we have a restaurant next door and they've got lovely trestle tables in the garden. So I was going to steal one of them, run next door and set the table and pretend we were out at the restaurant. But the weather's not looking too good. So.
That's a nice idea. My daughter, when it was her birthday, she did it for a boyfriend. No, she didn't steal anything. She didn't steal anything. No, not at all. But I don't know whether she did it for him or he did it for her. But anyway, they turned the little place into like an Italian restaurant and had like an Italian, and it was really nice. So there you go.
Well, that was my idea. I was going to do something like that, but we'll just have to see if we can do something in the house. But then that's just the same as any other night, isn't it?
What, a romantic dinner for 2? Every night.
Oh God, yes, yeah.
But given that a lot of the things are coming back to normal from next week, because let's not forget that on Monday, the shops reopen pretty much. Not every shop will be open, but many shops have been given the green light to reopen.
Do you know how sad I am? I'm just jumping in here, Ellis, because otherwise I won't get a word in edgeways, because we know what you're like once you start going. But the other night, I had a dream. I had a dream that I actually walked into Waterstones because they were open, and I was so happy that I was clapping as I walked in. And then I woke up and it was just all a dream, and I was so disappointed. I had my little book list in my head. What kind of shops are we all looking forward to opening?
Hairdressers. Give me a hairdresser.
That's the 15th of July, the hairdressers.
Oh, is it?
Oh, dear.
They're going to start calling me the Silver Flash. Let's get to the root of this problem.
What about you, Stevie? Have you got any favourite shops that you would like to see open?
Well, a shop that I really do need to see open, and it'll sound silly to everyone, but I really need a sofa shop to open. Just before lockdown, our sofa snapped, and to a point that you couldn't sit in it anymore, and we got rid of it in the hopes that the following weekend or the weekend after we'd go off and find another one. Here we are, 4 months later.
Oh, so have you been on deck chairs?
Well, uncomfortable chairs, shall we say.
Oh.
The shops that I'm really keen to open again are the charity shops.
Will they open like when all the other shops open, or will there be different rules? Because, you know, with it being, they clean all the stuff, don't they, anyway, when they get it?
They do. I think they may have to make, obviously every shop has to make some internal adjustments, shall we say. But charity shops, yeah, because I like having a good mooch around them.
Do you know when they're open, Ellis?
Typically, because it's all shops can open, all retail shops can open from Monday, the charity shops should be included among those, but it's whether or not they will have put their plans in place.
And whether they can get all the volunteers back, because some of them might still be shielding, possibly.
That's right, and I think they're going to be inundated, because I know myself, I've been clearing out my wardrobes while we've
wardrobes.
been yeah. Damn, caught something like that.
Fiona and 100 pairs of shoes.
It's bags. I open the wardrobe in my spare room and you just get an avalanche of bags coming out in your head. It's hilarious. I've got bags and bags sitting ready for the charity shop, and I'm thinking if everybody's done that.
Oh, yes.
But it's a good point, because I think charity shops are slightly different in that they're volunteers, maybe of a certain vintage, and may have concerns about going back. So if you are a charity shop out there and open, you've got some plans to reopen, give us a shout and let us know what's actually happening and what the rules are.
Well, we'll wait and find out. But I can't wait for a good rummage in the charity shops. I need to go. I'm starting training.
Okay.
My latest. So what it is, I have been walking more. You know, usually I'm sort of sea swimming, but I have been walking more this lockdown. And I keep saying, I need to come out having achieved something at the end of lockdown. Well, there's a company, a business run by a lovely couple, Stacey and Max Holloway. It's called Way Outside, but sadly they recently lost a very good friend who was an ultra runner. He died from cancer, and this guy, despite a diagnosis, he wasn't from here, he was down sort of London way, but despite this serious diagnosis, he kept running miles and miles and miles and miles, and he'd raised £80,000 for a liver cancer charity. His goal was £100,000. Since he died in January, I think other people have managed to do things to raise about 90,000. So Stacey and Max have organised a virtual 24-hour challenge. It's called Virtual Tyndrum 24 Challenge. But the good news is you don't have to keep running for 24 hours solid. You can choose 6 hours, 12 hours or 24 hours, and you can sort of it's going to be over a whole week, which is good news. I had to sort of double read the instructions because I started thinking, oh no, I've signed myself up to keep walking for 12 hours solid. But you can break it up during the week and just get a bit of sponsorship and help this charity. So that's, if you look at Way Outside, one word, on their Facebook, and you'll find some details. And you can be on your bike, you can run, you can walk, you can hop, skip, jump, whatever you want to do. And a bit of a challenge. So I need to start training because it starts on August the 1st and then ends on the 8th of August. So I'm going to go for 12 hours. I know you're stunned into silence, aren't you?
Between July and August, you've got to do it.
No, August the 1st to August the 8th.
All right. So you have to do it over that week.
Over that week, I've got to walk for like 12 hours, but I could do maybe 2 hours a day or 1 and a bit hours a day. Yeah. But by the end of the week, I've got to have done walking for 12 hours. But the idea is to see how far I can get.
Kathie, I think that's a good basis for a podcast. What do you think?
Do you think?
You could record your training and your actual event. I mean, I'm not suggesting we broadcast for 12 hours of you going, and I've now walked another wee bit. Oh, my feet.
Oh, my back. What have I done? But no, I just think, it's good to have a little challenge, isn't it, in life? Imagine some of us have more challenges than others. But anyway, it's good for everybody to have a little bit of a challenge.
That's how Stevie's brain works, by the way, everyone that's listening. We mentioned something we're doing, and Stevie wants us to turn it into a podcast.
or a video.
Or a video.
I'm happy with either. I'll help you with both.
We're not just a newspaper anymore, We have fully embraced new technology here, I might add.
Does that mean we have to tell people about when Stevie made us put things on our heads so we didn't echo and we were sat with tea towels and things draped over ourselves and mics?
Which I hope you're still doing.
I'm not.
And he's not kidding, because my next bit for the weekend, seeing it's going to be raining and miserable, I'm going to have another look at John Finnemore's Penguin Diplomacy play, which Stevie and his Stargate 42 films actually filmed, didn't you, Stevie?
We did just before lockdown, literally just before lockdown.
Made an absolutely fantastic job of it. It's such a professional looking play, and it was performed by the Benderloch and North Connell Drama Club in their hats, because as Stevie said, it was just before lockdown. They were going to be taking this play out and about, but because of the lockdown, they ended up filming it in their hat. But you can catch it online. Whereabout again, Stevie?
Well, you can find it at opentimes.co.uk/penguin, but it's only available till midnight on the 27th, because that's us out of licence. Once that's done, it is no more.
Yep, so that's midnight on Saturday. Will be your last chance to watch that, and watch Mike Rowell and Sophie Kuruna star in what is absolutely a must-see production. So,
do you know something, Fiona?
Yeah.
I've got a clip of it. Would you like to hear?
Oh, yes, please, Stevie.
Did I startle you?
Yes, you did rather. I didn't. What are you doing here?
I live here.
You live here?
Yes.
You live here?
Also, yes.
Oh, heavens. You're not one of these chaps you hear about that don't know the war's over, are you?
The war is over.
Oh, Lord, yes, for nearly 3 years. How long have you been?
Oh, I'm not one of those chaps. So, what brings you to Denmark?
I've never been to Denmark.
Oh, this is your first time. Welcome.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. This isn't...
This is very nice. What is it?
Yes, it's a flagpole.
Oh, charming.
Yes.
But you really needn't have bothered. I don't have a flag.
Right, but it's not... I didn't know you lived here.
Who did you think lived here?
I didn't think anybody lived here.
Then why do they need a flagpole?
They don't, Right. Look, I've got off on the wrong foot. Now then. Hello, my name is Jane Bunning.
Hello.
And I am the new...
Sundergaard.
What?
My name is Sundergaard.
Right, pleased to meet you. Sundergaard?
Sundergaard, but Sundergaard will do.
Right, yes. As I was saying, I am the new governor of South Georgia and Associated British Dependencies.
Oh, my word, honoured.
Yes, thank you. You don't need to bow. And I'm here, do you see, on a little tour of the minor islands to reaffirm in their post-war era their British sovereignty.
I see, in case any of your flags got blown down in the war.
Yes, in a manner of speaking.
Yes, Yes, I see. But, what brings you to Denmark?
Ah, yes, you said that before. This isn't Denmark.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Denmark's on the other side of the world.
Well, most of it, yes, but not this bit. This bit is Scarston O, and it's right here.
No, this is Goodwill Island, a British overseas
See, you want Goodwill Island.
Yes!
Yes, well, it's right over there.
What? Where?
Right there.
What, in the distance?
No, very much in the foreground, underneath all those cormorants.
That's not an island, that's just a rock, and a damn smelly one at that.
Well, cormorants will be cormorants.
No, look, my chart is...
Oh, that was lovely to hear that again, and I'll definitely be nipping on before close of play on Saturday night to watch the whole thing once more before it disappears. But I think Stevie, you're still planning on taking that out on the road once lockdown's over, aren't you?
Yeah, and they want to. They've got 3 plays that were all prepared for the drama festival, and we only managed to get one of them. So they've got 3 plays ready to go out as soon as we can get theatres back. But that's another big question about when theatres and musicals, not just professional, but Amdram, can actually return, because...
Do you think we'll see some outdoor performances, Stevie? Is that a possibility?
Well, it is a possibility, but you've got an awful lot of technical issues, lighting and sound, and part of the issue, according to governments, is, and it's ridiculous, that Andrew Lloyd Webber was asked if he could do a musical without people singing, and... I understand.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, I understand the science behind it, because when you sing, droplets go further and so on. But you can't protect everyone on stage. It's just not possible, no matter how far away you are from your audience. So I don't know. I mean, Panto season is apparently cancelled in most theatres.
Oh no, it isn't.
Oh yes, it is. We're just going to have to see where it goes.
It replaced with a silent musical.
Yeah. I mean, I think the indication was perhaps the performers could mime, but that's not why you go to the theatre.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. That being the case, Penguin Diplomacy, it'd be quite a good one, because there is only the two guys in it, and they could keep far enough apart from one another.
Well, to a certain extent, but you've got people working in the venue, technical people have to clear up after sets. It's really an unknown, and it's going to be one of the last industries, I think, that is going to get the permission to go ahead. However, have any of you caught up with the BBC programme Staged?
No.
What do you mean caught up with it?
I haven't even started it.
I haven't even started it. Okay.
I haven't got a telly, by the way.
Right.
Just to
okay, Staged
let you know that.
is a lockdown drama, and it stars David Tennant and Michael Sheen, and all the parts are available on BBC iPlayer. It's a 6-part project. They filmed it in their own homes with their own families. It doesn't sound like much. It is a darkly comic production, but it really draws you in. Well worth the watch. Language is... you wouldn't want to be watching this around small children under the age of 16, but it is very funny. So I thoroughly recommend you grab that while it's available.
I'll have a look at that. Yeah.
Staged, yeah.
No, now that Stevie explained that, I did see something on that on the one show. It was, it does sound like it's going to be fun.
They both play exaggerated characters of themselves. It's not the real David Tennant, it's not the real Michael Sheen, but they are very, very funny. It's partly scripted, but sometimes they go off-piste, as they say.
Do you think we could do that?
I think we already do this.
Kathie,
videos, woo!
I'd be scared of an exaggerated example of yourself.
Why would that be, Fiona?
Off-piste has always been my byword. Always been my maxim. I've lived by it.
Do you know, it's maybe something, and I'm going to put the fear of God into you now, it's maybe something we should maybe do something for the weekend. Either do it absolutely live.
We are. This is live.
We should.
Oh, you mean
Absolutely live with no editing or whatever. Or do it with video as well. We can all appear in our wee boxes and broadcast to the nation. But the thing is, are we quite ready for that? Is the nation quite ready for that?
Well, I was going to say, it's more if the nation's ready for us.
We've got to do live. That'd be brilliant.
But I did say through the week that we're really, really clever, because we Stevie never has to cut any sweary words out of this. Do you, Stevie? Back me up on this?
I think only once.
Once.
But it didn't come from any of the female members of the team.
Oh,
Ellis.
It wasn't
Ellis,
me.
what have you said?
was it Ellis? Was it Ellis? You don't mind.
The fact that you've only got swearing out once with me is actually a personal achievement for me.
I'll tell you what else is on tonight, very quickly. During lockdown, obviously, we haven't been able to get to our gorgeous islands because of lockdown. But if you go on to YouTube tonight, or maybe go to Facebook first. Sorry, these details are a little bit vague, but it's called Island Life. And it's the people who put together this amazing podcast called What We Do in Winter. And it gives you an insight into what people on the islands are doing during the wintry months. But during lockdown, they asked people on Mull, Iona, Gomitra, Ulva, just to send in little snippets of footage of what they were doing. And then they've put it into a 47-minute long film. And there's some gorgeous music from some local musicians sort of behind it. So that's on tonight. I think it's at 8:00, but just check it out. It's called Island Life. And if you want to make a donation afterwards, it's going to the Mull and Iona Food Bank. So there you go, little recommendation. That's what I'll be doing tonight.
Well, it's going to be a bit of a thunderstormy weekend, isn't it? I think it's one of those weekends where actually you just don't do anything at all. So we're going to have nothing for the weekend. Just curl up with a good book, put the radio on, make yourself some bacon and eggs like I did this morning. Kick back and relax.
Ellis sent us a photo of his breakfast for champions. He captioned it.
Breakfast of champions.
Breakfast of champs, but actually it was very difficult to tell what was the lawn sausage and what was the black pudding going on the colour shades.
It wasn't the most appetising looking breakfast I've ever seen in my life, to be honest, Ellis.
But it was a good try. And actually, I would have quite happily eaten it, to be honest.
I'm still getting the hang of the cooking, the new cooker, shall we say, the temperature gauges.
On the hob? We're doing it on the hob. That's just 1, 2, 3, 4, isn't it?
It's a work in progress. Yeah, but I still don't know how hot 6 is compared to 3.
Very hot.
I think
it's
you
twice
do.
as hot as 3.
You do know how hot 6 is, Ellis. I think we've got the evidence.
I enjoyed my breakfast, even if you didn't.
There was no sauce with it, was there? You didn't have any sauce, any Tommy sauce?
That came afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Once he'd taken it out of the freezer and chipped it off, yeah.
And on that bombshell, we'll have to say goodbye for another weekend. And here at the Auburn Times, it goes without saying, we're always happy to hear from you. So stay in touch, tell us your stories, share those photographs. You can contact us by calling 01631 568 000, or you can email us on our special Something for the Weekend email, which is somethingfortheweekend@auburntimes.co.uk, or you can message us on Facebook. And during the COVID crisis, which hopefully is starting to come to an end, you can read all of our stories for free online, or you can pick up a copy of the OT from supermarkets, newsagents when they're open, and petrol stations. And to get the page-turning digital edition of the Auburn Times, you need to subscribe now, and you can get 3 months for the discounted price of just £4.80. So that's all we've got for this week. We hope we've given you plenty of inspiration. Most important,
and breakfast ideas.
but most importantly, stay safe, stay home-ish, and protect the NHS. And it's goodbye from me, Ellis Butcher.
Goodbye from me, Fiona Scott.
Goodbye from me, Kathie Griffiths.
And goodbye from me, Stephen Day.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.